What is going on? Welcome back to Fanatic Journey. So today I want to talk to you about SoFi. SoFi is having an epic day, but I want to talk to you what is happening behind the scenes and what is next for SoFi. Before I get into any of that though, making sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I greatly appreciate that. But with that though, let's get right to it. Live ticker is going at the very bottom, so up 28%, very big day, 128 million shares being traded, 45 is the average, and that is the 6-month average. And 19.6 million shares being purchased by institutions, and that is on the secondary market. So clearly a lot of big money is getting in. And like I've been saying, post Q2 earnings, you are going to get a lot more analysts jumping on board. And today we did get 2 new ratings. So that's a very big deal. So we did get Mizuho and Credit Suisse. Technically, there was 7 different analysts that asked questions during the Q2 earnings. So do anticipate more later today and most likely the rest of the week as well. Possibly even Morgan Stanley as well and Bank of America. Oddly enough, Bank of America didn't actually give or ask any questions during the Q2 earnings, whereas in Q1 they did. So might be a little bit more of an abnormal thing. Maybe they're just too shocked, but I think this earnings was a very big deal. It kind of proved wrong all of the naysayers. So in case you do not know what happened during the earnings, I'm just going to give you a quick summary as well. But I just want to give a quick shout out and I say that I appreciate everyone who joined me for the live stream, and it does look like we are over the $8, which is exactly where I said that we were going to go. Because in reality, though, we should be even at $10. But given the market circumstances and the market acting very irrational, obviously $8 I'll settle with. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty happy with that. So in case you did miss the earnings, so I'm just going to give you the Coles notes. Basically, credit cards kicked ass massively. So you can see right here, it was up roughly about, it looks like 277%. And the funny thing is, even Anthony Noto did say that credit cards aren't really their target market because most of their clients earn 160,000 or more, and the average FICO score is 748. So in the end though, a lot of those same customers don't need a credit card. So the fact that it's gone up 227% despite the whole customer not really fitting in line with that, that's a very beneficial thing. Goes to show that ultimately SoFi is doing the right thing and it has an amazing product. But outside of that though, the customers increased 69%. As far as member growth, I should say, new products increased 79%. So there is so much good things to come out of this earnings. I'm going to link the earnings in case you just want to tune in, and it did add chapters, so you can just kind of skip right to that and listen to the amazing stuff. But like I said, as far as at the bottom, block volume shows number of institutions buying on the secondary market. These are all the transactions so far on the dark pool. So in case you guys don't know what's happening on the dark pool or what the dark pool is, that's basically an exchange designated for institutions to trade amongst each other, just to avoid volatility. So I do have this set for 250 results per page. And as of right now, as you can see, I fill more than the 250. So there's been more than 250 transactions done by institutions just today alone. And so in reality, that is a huge deal, and goes to show that a lot of institutions were just waiting for the Q2 earnings to come out just to see how things were going to fare, given that there was a recession and a lot of fear in the market, how they did, and they definitely did a lot of good things. So at the end of the day, what is next for SoFi? So of course, we already know operationally what's next because they already did just go over that in their earnings yesterday, but more so based on the price, because we are having a nice little bump up today, but a lot of people want to know what is next. And I wanted to show you one quick thing. I did post this on Twitter, and I think this hasn't really ingrained in a lot of people. So I just want to give you a quick update on some short interest. So as of right now, is down roughly about 1%, 18.23% is the short interest, 133.64 million shares still being actually shorted out there. It is closing 1.34 million shares, and a little bit more of an abnormal scenario right now. Typically you see this near the tail end of the day, but cost to borrow minimum is actually negative. So despite the Q2 earnings, there is still a broker out there physically paying people to short SoFi, which is most likely why a lot of shorts haven't closed out the positions. But keep in mind, with the Q2 earnings and so far on how things are going, it's basically alluding to that Q3 is going to have another home run earnings. Q4 most likely hopefully we are actually going to be debt free. Keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence at the end of the day. But given the circumstances, with shorts only closing out 1.34 million shares, we actually might have a very good squeeze on our hands. So this might get us back to the realistic $14, if not higher. I just want to give you a quick update on this as far as institutional purchasing based on the 13Fs. Keep in mind, this is a little bit more delayed, but a lot of retailers do like to look at this. And so you can see as of late, a lot of institutions have been getting in. Again, this is a little bit more of a smaller fish pool, if you want to call it that. The bigger ones are next week and the following one. So at the end of the day, I think a lot of big things are coming for SoFi, and especially, again, this might be a little bit more contradictory to overall growth stocks, but if they do continue to raise the interest rates, the Feds, then that is going to benefit SoFi significantly, because that's one thing that was really reiterated by Anthony Noto, is that ultimately every time they raise the rates, the gap and how much money SoFi makes just grows substantially. So yes, it might be one of those things that does hurt your overall portfolio, but individually it will help SoFi significantly. So it's one of those things, take that how you see that. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below, but I'm very, very happy and impressed on how the SoFi earnings did turn out. But overall though, Technicals are also one thing that is showing very positive for SoFi. So on the actual chart, I have the 50, 100, 200-day moving averages, Bollinger Bands, RSI, Stochastic, and Momentum. Stochastic, you can see a nice little deviation starting to form, so a nice bullish trend. Number of buyers is through the roof, and rightfully so. RSI is currently at 73, and on the actual chart, we're well outside the Bollinger Band, which typically is a little bit more of a negative thing, but given the news and the catalyst that came out, it's rightfully so. But again, it goes to show what our next target is. So $11.29. That's basically the 200-day moving average. And as far as micro and macro levels, just want to show you the Fibonacci and the resistance and support levels. But in general though, we are very, very positive. So even more so on the Fibonacci, we're currently at outside the R3. So very, very bullish. And then just looking at the support and resistance points, you can see we are here well above all the resistance points. So this is why I said it doesn't really make that big of a difference to look at those, because everything is just completely blowing up. And in reality though, I think this goes to show that we are in for a very wild Q3 earnings. And hopefully, again, if they do continue to raise the rates, then in reality that might be even more beneficial for SoFi, more so from an operational standpoint, investor standpoint, everything. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I greatly appreciate that. And if you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With that said, I appreciate you guys watching, and let's all make a lot of money on SoFi.